Total wet activity data submission is due on the 28th of February 2025. What is total wet activity and why is it important for RTOs? Total wet activity data submission is due on the 28th of February 2025. So not much time going on, and now we need more information on about the submission, and we have our compliance expert, Mr. Ben Tucker here. So Ben, deadline is there. So many people have so many questions. So we'll dive in straight up. So first question I wanted to ask you is, what is total wet activity and why is it important for RTOs?
Okay, great thing. So the total wet activity is the annual submission of your student data. So this is the data that you need to submit through NCV. This is called NCVER data submission as well. So in a way that whatever the student data that you have from January to December, if you haven't done the quarterly submission, you need to do this annual submission on 28th of February 2025 for all the data for 2024. And why it is important? It's a regulated requirement that we need to submit all the data, all the activity happened during that year through NCVER AVS software. So then all the data will be transferred to the relevant government database, and that data will transfer into USI, and all the USI, the student and everyone able to see, and that's how the whole system works.
Wow. And let's say what data do RTO need to include and why it is critical?
Okay, so in a simple way, any activity that happened during 2024 that needs to be included, that including your enrollment information, that including your training and assessment information, any marking, any certificate being issued, all those data that we need to include in that submission for that period of time.
And how can RTO ensure the accuracy and the completeness of their total wet activity data?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. The accuracy is important because if we don't have accurate data, the submission goes to data is also inaccurate. That means that USI information being accurate, then you get the student queries, complain, why my USI information is incorrect, all those parts. Plus, the data tells the story. So, for example, if I am an RTO, I did not uploaded the data for last 3 months of marking assessment, and so I can see from the data that this RTO is not updated the submission. And as part of, if you are a CRICOS RTO, you have a course progress requirement. So I can say that those are the students falling under to course progress issue. So when anyone evaluating data for audit or any other thing, the data tells me a lot of things about what is going on in the RTO.
Oh. What are the common mistakes that RTO makes during submission? And another thing I also wanted to ask, how to avoid those mistakes?
Yeah, so during the submission, like I said, number one thing is they did not update all the data for that activity period. So like I said, there is the marking is not done, some of the student information not updated. So those are the number one thing. Second thing, when they're submitting the data, the results are not correct. So the student meant to be competent, but the student is continuing. Student meant to be competent, but it's not competent. Student meant to be not competent and continue. So that's why we have seen that there's kind of a different errors that we see. Plus the third thing is when the admin do the data entry, they did the incorrect way of data entry. Therefore, it leads to errors. So, for example, the location, it has to be a location identifier and correct location. If they don't attach the correct location, that can create an error. If I continuing the unit but the end date is passed already, that also giving me an error. So those are the things that needs to be careful. The certificate meant to be issued because they completed everything, but certificate not issued. So those are the common things. And how to avoid it is just as I said it, need to make sure the data is correctly entered, certificate being issued on time within the 30 days, whatever period is, and also do double check that okay, this student is completed, have we issued the certificate in 30 days? This student is continue, why this end date is not extended or what the reason? So then when you do this checking and viewing, then you would able to avoid all those mistakes.
So checking and reviewing is the main thing. What should RTO do if they identify the errors during the submission, during or maybe after the submission?
So during the submission is easy. If you identify, you update it. The after submission is a bit difficult then because it's already gone to USI, all the data, but still you have option through AVS software, you can log in it and make some changes. If the student 100% is not there, so some small changes you can do after, but if the majority of student, let's say for example, you miss 200 student data entry, then it's going to be problem and then we need to contact the relevant department to reopen it and resubmit it.
Okay. How can RTO leverage the total VET activity data to improve their operations and support for the future planning?
Total VET activity, like I said, the data tells the story. If I review the data and if I see that there are a lot of not competent students for this particular unit, then it might be tell, okay, there's something wrong going on in this class or in this particular unit. Might be the assessment is the problem, might be the training thing is not right. That tells the story. Other thing also see that, okay, what is the completion rate? If a completion rate is very low, I say like, what's going on? Maybe we need to dig. And then you can say, oh, this belongs to this particular trainer or particular class. Maybe let me check what's going on here. That also tells those information. If a lot of students not submitting assessment on time, that means you see there's a good amount of course progress issues there. So that data give you a lot of information and you can utilize for further improvement and it give you more benefit.
Nice. Pretty much we have covered the entire topic in detail, but just in case if you need more information, we are going to add a detailed blog regarding the submission of total VET activity data as well on our social posts. So keep looking for our social posts. So if you need more information, read our blogs. You'll get detailed info about submissions. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much for your insights, and thank you.
Thank you.
Share this with your RTO team. One mistake could cost your funding. Call us today.